The extended phenotype, Richard Dawkins, the long reach of the gene. Arms race and manipulation. One of my purposes in this book is to question the central theorem that it's useful to expect individual organisms to behave in such a way as to maximize their own inclusive fitness, or, in other words, to maximize their survival of copies of the genes inside them. The end of the previous chapter suggests 1a, in which the central theorem might be violated. Organisms might consistently work in the interest of other organisms rather than of theirs. That is, they might be manipulated. The fact that animals frequently cause other animals to perform some action that is against their own best interest is, of course, well known. Obviously, it happens every time an anglerfish catches prey, every time a cuckoo is fed by its first mother. I shall make use of both this example in this chapter, but I shall also emphasize 2 points that have not always been stressed. Firstly, it's natural to assume that even if a manipulator gets away with it temporarily, it's only a matter of evolutionary time before the lineage of manipulated organisms come up with a counter-adaptation. In other words, we tend to assume that manipulation only works because of time lag constraint on perfection. In this chapter, I shall point out that, on the contrary, there are conditions under which we should expect manipulators to succeed consistently and for indefinite lengths of evolutionary time. I shall discuss this later under the catchphrase of arms race. Secondly, until the last decade or so, most of us have paid insufficient attention to the likelihood of intraspecific manipulation, especially exploitative manipulation within the family. I attribute this deficiency to a residuum of group selectionist intuition, which often lurks in the depths of the biologist's mind even after group selection has been rejected at the surface level of reason. I think that a minor evolution has taken place in the way we think about social relationships. Gentle ideals of vaguely benevolent mutual cooperation are replaced by a expectation of stark, ruthless, opportunistic mutual exploitation. This revolution is particularly popularly associated with the name sociobiology, although the association is somehow ironic since, as I have suggested before, Wilson's great book of that name is in many respects pre-revolutionary in attitude. In not the new synthesis, but the last and greatest synthesis of the old benevolent regime. I can exemplify the changed view by quoting from a recent paper, Lloyd entertaining review of sexual dirty trick in insect. Selection for haste in male and coyness in female result in what amount to competition between the sexes. Males may be selected to bypass any choice that the female attempt to exercise, then females selected to maintain their options, not to not be misled or to have their choices subverted. The male subdue and seduce females that through aphrodisiacs. Lloyd gives evidence elsewhere in the paper. Female may be expected to escape sooner or later in evolutionary time. And after sperm has been placed in a female, she should manipulate it, store, transfer from chamber to chamber, use it, or dissolve it. As she makes additional observation on male, female may accept and store sperm from a male for insurance that they will get a mate and then become choosy. It's possible for sperm to be manipulated in the female, e.g., sex determination in Hymenoptera. Female reproductive morphology often include sacs, valves, and tubes that could have evolved in this context. In fact, it's possible that some reported examples of sperm competition are actually cases of sperm manipulation. Given that females, to one extent or another, subvert male interest by the internal manipulation of ejaculate, it's not inconceivable that male will have evolved little openers, snipers, levers, and syringes that put sperm in the places female have evolved intended for sperm with priority usage. Collectively, the variable Swiss Army knife of gadgetry. This kind of unsentimental dog-eat-dog language would not have come easily to biologists a few years ago, but nowadays I am glad to say it dominates textbooks. Such dirty tricks as often as not involve direct action, the muscles of one individual moving to molest the body of another. The manipulation which is subject of this chapter is more indirect and more subtle. An individual induces the effectors of another individual to work against its own best interest and in favor of the interests of the manipulator. Alexander was one of the first emphasized the importance of such manipulation. He generalized his concept of queen domination in the evolution of social insect worker behavior to produce a wide-ranging theory of parental manipulation. He suggests that parents are in such a commanding position over their offspring that offspring may be forced to work in the interest of their parents' genetic fitness, even where his conflict is their own. West Eberhard follows Alexander in dignifying parental manipulation as one of three general ways in which individual altruism can involve, the others being kin selection and reciprocal altruism. Ridley and I make the same point, but do not restrict ourselves to parental manipulation.